Investigators are at work in Plainville where a small plane crashed, killing the only person aboard. This happened about 7 last night, just as severe weather was moving into the state. The question is, were the conditions a factor? News 8's Kent Pierce is live in Plainville this noon where the NTSB just wrapped up a news conference. Kent?
And we asked the NTSB exactly that, Jeff, and the answer is basically that it's way too early to tell exactly what happened to this plane. This is an investigation expected to take months. We do know that this is a pilot who rented his plane from here at Robertson Field. He was known to the folks here at Robertson Field. He had been either at Martha's Vineyard or visiting people in Canaan, Connecticut, or both before flying back here to Plainville last night, where he crashed right in between the runway and a very busy road. That's what's left of a Cessna 172, a single-engine, four-seat airplane that had been coming in for a landing at Robertson Field about 7 o'clock last night. It crashed into this hill just before the runway and burst into flames. The woman who took this picture says she saw the plane approaching normally, then suddenly dip down. NTSB investigators spoke to a flight instructor who saw the plane on approach just before the crash.
And looking up, he said it seemed to him it was slightly high and that it was correcting for that to come down a little bit. But then he got in his car and drove away and didn't actually see the impact. Between the impact and the flames, the pilot was killed. He was the only one on board. The plane was more than 30 years old, but a very common and reliable model. The pilot rented it here at Robertson Field and said he was an experienced pilot. They obviously have to get checked out and they fill out a rental questionnaire, and the person that rented the airplane had listed 1,000 hours of flight experience. This was back in June. So if that was back in June, obviously he had rented planes here before. Now, as for the weather, yes, severe weather was headed to Plainville at 7 o'clock last night when this crash happened, but witnesses tell me it hadn't really gotten here yet. It wasn't all that windy. It was not raining. The NTSB says it will look at weather data as part of its investigation. That investigation expected to last 6 to 12 months. Live in Plainville, I'm Kent Pierce, News 8.